Welcome back to Factory Sealed. It is November 20th, 2016. My name's Eric Peterson. Joining me today, Mr. Dan Curtis.
Are you sure it's not 2017 now? It's the amount of time we've spent setting this episode up.
Good Lord. We were supposed to start an hour ago, thanks to Miss Jess Clarkson.
Thanks to you for kicking me out.
I didn't kick you out. I was just impatient with you leaving.
You kicked me out.
I did kick you out.
Wait, she's not Clarkson anymore.
It's a habit. Jess
I'm
Rugmunchier.
Better.
All because we're an hour late, all because someone just had to change her headphone jack.
Broseth. I had the settings, and then you kicked me out, so I couldn't get them back.
Well, you weren't leaving fast enough.
Alright, well, the damage is done. Let's crack on. I'm not in my nonsense mode anymore because I've been sitting here just waiting for an hour.
I know, the nonsense is kind of leaked out.
It's going to be the best episode
I have
ever.
designated nonsense time where it's meant to all come out, and now it doesn't.
It's kind of like a volcano.
Yeah,
it's just
nonsense volcano.
A volcano of dumb.
Volcano just spewing out fart noises. That's
with an occasional, very small, sometimes microscopic tidbit of knowledge somewhere in the mess of shit and bad grammar.
Yeah, but so far in there that you could never find it.
No, and it comes out like once every 30 episodes.
That's optimistic.
Yeah, so we're rolling up on our fourth bit of knowledge coming through here.
Oh, excellent.
But it will not be this episode, I can pretty much guarantee.
118 episodes on it, man. That's a good run.
That is. That's a great run.
Was even Happy Days on this long?
I don't know.
I feel like probably yes.
Was Friends on this long?
From the dawn of time.
Yes.
10 series for Friends.
Seasons, Dan.
Series.
Seasons.
Series.
But they had like 22 episodes a season.
Yeah, but weren't they all only like 30 minutes long?
Yeah.
So therefore, we've had more content.
Yes. But slightly less
Quality
listenership.
over quantity?
No. We just go for sheer quantity and hope that people can pull some quality out of it.
There's bound to be a couple of gems per episode.
Speaking of a good run, I feel like we need to tip our hat to our former friends at Talking Reckless / the previous Manitank podcast, because they have hung their hats.
First of all, beautiful segue.
You like that?
I think it was beautiful.
I genuinely thought I was going to get away with it.
No. Don't be silly.
No, don't be silly. I see a segue and I'm going to call it out. I let you finish, but then I called you out.
Every segue must be noted.
Quite a good segue there. It's a good one, chap.
And now, put a segue note on the chart, please.
Victoria, make a little chalk mark for the segue.
Of course, Charles.
Let me twist in my moustache while I do it.
What, Victoria's got a moustache?
Well, yeah. I mean, this is back before the women started shaving, isn't it? Like, Jess, if you didn't shave...
Pretty sure it wouldn't be curly.
There's the stupidity volcano we were talking about.
One of my tutors at uni had a moustache. She was a woman.
Jess, can I ask you a question?
Yes. Must you ask me a question?
You probably are one of those people that has one of those t-shirts.
No, but I did have a wine glass.
Yeah,
with
you
a
do.
mustache
Yeah,
on
you
it.
do.
Yeah. Is it in reference to women with mustaches? Okay.
Yes.
Like, obviously not like porn mustaches or motorcycle cop mustache, but just obvious more than woman hair, lip hair, mustache. Did they just not know, or do they just not care?
Probably
Like,
a bit of both.
They
If
actually get our call Merrick every time before the go out.
It seems like they're above the outsides of the lips on the sides,
Yeah.
and they're darker. Like, if I went in for a kiss and I got tickled on my upper lip by a lip sweater, I'd be a little weirded out.
Nobody's going to
But I
kiss
feel
you.
like it's one of those things that kind of creeps up on you. Like, I have, like, a very persistent chin hair that I have a battle with all of the time. And, like, I think it started when I was in, like...
Are you by any chance a witch?
Right? I wish I
Does
was.
it curl?
No, because I have not let it get that long.
Is
but I
it
Is
bet
it
out
black
of a green
and-
wart?
Yes, it's like fucking blacker than black. It's like the most noticeable thing ever. But it has
Why don't you let
fucking
that one hair
magic
grow?
power. No,
okay.
it's magic because it
I'm-
camouflages, and I only see it when I am out and about and have zero way of managing it at that point in time. And usually when there are attractive people near me, and I'm like, well, great.
They're staring at my chin hair.
Charles,
It starts
the
to
chin
wiggle
hair
and
has appeared.
shiver.
Yeah.
I'm going to say picks or I don't believe it.
It's actually attracted to rain, so it points in the direction of where it's going to rain.
It's like one of those wishbone sticks that finds water, but for her it
Yes.
finds mildly attractive men.
Yes.
Then before
Not
they know
hot
it,
guys.
she's standing next to them, tickling them with her chin hair.
Like, what is this in the back of my neck? Oh, sorry, it's just my chin hair.
If Charlie has made an appearance.
Who?
Charlie the chin hair.
Charlie. Old Chucky chin hair.
No, but it's like as you get older, like you start getting like little
Yeah,
bit
because
of
now
like,
that you're 30, you're
whiskeries.
basically dead. So
I am. But I have friends who like have had like because they're European and so they have like darker hair, so they've had to be dealing with mustachio hair since.
oh yeah,
they were, like,
the women over
puberty.
here just wander around with goatees. Don't worry about it.
No, you're like fake Europe. You don't really count.
Yeah,
You're not
you're
even
not-
fake
Yeah, we're
Europe
we're
anymore.
leaving the EU. We're going to be our own state.
Exactly. But like
Hashtag
Mediterranean type of
Brexit.
thing. Yeah.
Couldn't they get like laser hair removal? I mean, I feel like if you were a
No.
woman, that'd be a great investment.
Sometimes you can't because there has to be like a huge. If you have like very intense lip hair, then yeah, you could. But there has to be like a very distinct difference between your skin and your lip hair. So if it's just that like slight that it kind of camouflages but doesn't in some light, then you're fucked.
Not that
Unless
you're
you
bad.
So how do you
wax
deal with it? Do you shave it or bleach it or trim it with the scissors?
They have like face shavers actually, that you can get for like lip hair and stuff.
And grandma.
But they're not like actual you're not like shaving with like shaving cream and stuff. Or you can bleach it or
See,
you
bleaching
can
it to me would
wax
still be
it.
awful because it's still there. Like, that's just putting
But it's
lipstick
like-
on a pig.
Baby hair all over you have baby hair all over your face. So it'd be like the same thing.
Can you not just pluck it out?
Yeah,
You
but
could
baby
pluck
hair,
it.
just baby hair is one thing. Like, these are tentacles. They're tendrils that just wiggle.
I feel like that's probably the extreme hair, but you can also wax your lip, but then that's super duper annoying because if you go to get your lip waxed, you walk around with a fucking red lip.
Oh yeah, and
No,
it looks
but
like you contracted something. Like,
Yeah.
it's doing from her. She's got the herpes.
it's crazy. It's same with like waxing your eyebrows. Like if you go to the mall to get it done, fuck that. Like there goes your social life because everyone's gonna look at you and be like, Damn.
Oh,
like,
if you can you get that eyebrow threading, but on your lips?
my
That
God.
shit is bizarre.
eyebrow threading, have you ever had it done?
Funny
No.
enough, no.
It is the most painful thing in the world.
Do you guys have it like where it just happens in shops and people are just there?
Oh, it happens in the center of the mall.
It's
Yeah.
madness.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sephora
I
does
half
it.
expect to wander in
Well,
one day
like-
and a woman's there with her legs akimbo getting a bikini wax nowadays.
Mind if you give me the old Brazilian thread?
Oh my God, that would take so long and be so painful.
It would be super unattractive too. Like that
What?
person, because
What a job.
I mean, like they hold part of it in their mouth, and like they're right down in there.
It would be like.
Hope you haven't had
porn.
fish the day before.
I feel like that's not a thing, is it? Like the opposite of pineapple for guys?
Jess, you're missing the joke.
I know, but like, that's what I'm wondering. Is that actually a thing?
Oh man, I don't think females have a diet really high in fish that would cause that. I oh my God, that's so stupid. You must have had pollock last night. Oh, really? I had one who had a big slab of swai.
Oh, what?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I had catfish.
You know, we were talking about R.I.P. Talking Reckless, and somehow we've got...
I just don't know.
I don't know.
I've stopped caring. Like, initially, I'm like, how did we really get... I just don't care. Because it happens. It just happens.
It's funny, man. But yeah, anyway, R.I.P. Talking Reckless.
For those who don't know who
Charlie
Talking Reckless is, the progression of this family of podcasts that we are a part of went from the Voldemort Towers couple episodes to the Manitank podcast, which had Gassy Mexican, Matt Eads, Kevin, Oliver, and me. Then branched into me starting Factory Sealed, and then they broke off into Talking Reckless, ending Manitank podcast, but it was still the same crew. They've decided to call it quits due to scheduling issues and life. But I did extend a blanket invitation to them if they want to join us on our show whenever, so carry on. Quite.
I never thought we would be the ones to continue.
They had a good run. They really did. They were a good crew.
They were popular. It's a shame to
Quite.
give up on it.
Yeah, I mean, as life goes on, you have more responsibility. I don't think people know, like, it takes a lot of effort for us to put this together every week.
Yeah, not really.
As is shown by the hour escapade it took Jess to plug her headphones in this morning.
Oh my effing God.
Oh my God.
I'm so outraged right
Oh
now.
my God.
Oh God.
Becky.
Don't you know I am dead, Scarlett Johansson?
I'm going to move to California. Oh my God.
Like, whatever.
I can't. I just can't even.
Eric,
What?
shut up.
What?
Shut up.
I'm channeling my inner Jess. Oh my God, what?
That's so hilarious.
Is that what the listener said that Jess says a lot?
Yeah.
So hilarious.
It's hilarious.
It's
You have
so
to
funny
enunciate
that
it a
I'm
little
not.
bit
It's so funny that I'm not actually laughing.
Oh my God, hilarious.
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 Not hilarious, hilarious.
Hilarious.
My prostate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Dan,
Hello.
I think you and I need to share our experience from last week about a specific game that our listener recommended to us.
Oh my god.
Oh, my summer car.
Oh my god. Marcus Polavivera.
Good attempt.
I think I got it. Yeah. Polavivera? No, he's probably going to write in like, it's pronounced Chuck.
Marcus, polyester, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Maybe that's finished for polyester. You don't know.
He recommended we play a game called My Summer Car. And
He
Dan
did.
and I looked into it, and I bit the bullet and bought it. And holy cow, was that the best $15 I have spent in a long time.
It's bloody hilarious.
For those of you who either didn't listen to the show last week or have since forgotten, or maybe we just didn't explain it, I don't remember. It is a car building life survival simulator with permadeath.
Yes.
And that's not even an inaccurate representation. That is exactly what it is. You're dropped into... Go ahead.
I think you're selling it short because you get sausages and you get the ability to have a piss. You get no direction.
Well, yeah, those are... So the survival aspect of it comes in that you have certain attributes of your health that you have to manage, from your fatigue to your dirtiness, hunger, thirst, and urine.
Basically like The Sims, but in Finland.
Yes, and your main sources of nutrition are beer and sausage. Actually, from what I found, you have beer and you can buy juice, and then you can... So, we'll back up. We'll get to that later because I have a story to tell about that. You're dropped into this game with zero instruction. No tutorial, no instruction book, just here you go. The controls are exceptionally complicated. And you walk outside and here's this shell of a car with a garage filled with car parts.
Garage.
And no instruction on how to put it together.
It's just the car's like down on the ground with no wheels on. So you somehow have to get the car in the garage, and we don't know how.
So you have a finite amount of money, and you can do little odd jobs. You've got vehicles to drive around a town. But town is not close, and the roads are not smooth or straight. And if you something as simple as crash into a tree, you die, and your game save erases.
It must be so annoying. So we
It
didn't die
is.
on our playthrough. So
We didn't, but we didn't venture too far from home. We just let our guy get really dirty, very hungry. We drank all of our beer, ate all of our sausages, and went, well, this is how it ends.
we filled a bucket with water, then had a piss in it.
And then tried to shower with it.
Oh my god!
We drove a tractor into a car.
Tried to drive the tractor, or tried to use the tractor to push the car into the garage, but ended up turning it sideways.
Yes, and then getting stuck in the car for a while.
So, Dan, you basically don't ever have to go to America.
No, you just have to play... Well, this isn't an American game.
It's Finland.
Yeah, you're in Finland.
But I feel
Everything's
like
in
that's
Finnish.
the American experience. Everything that you said.
Oh, yeah.
Then we
Just drink
what else
beer,
do we do?
eat sausage.
Piss in a bucket.
So the way that you build the car is very unclear. You can pick up items and hover it over where you think it should be, and if it fits, there'll be a little check mark and you drop it in. However, Dan, what I didn't realize until after you and I played later was that there's a toolbox with wrenches and screwdrivers and stuff that you have to then take in to secure these things to where you put them. Because all we did was get confirmation that this is where it goes. So I started building the engine and the front end on the car later, and you drop this frame underneath it. And then you have to crawl inside the hood, find the right size wrench. So that's the thing. If you know where there might be a screw, there's 12 or 14 different wrenches. You pick one up. If it doesn't turn green, then it's the wrong size. Or it won't even show up. So you essentially have to go through all 14 wrenches in every imaginable spot to look for these screws. And when you find one, you can screw it in and it tightens and holds everything together.
Wow.
Maybe that explains why when we were putting the dash in, we ended up shattering the windshield.
That was hilarious. So funny.
We got the seats in. I think if we would have gotten the car running, as soon as we would have taken off, the seats would have fallen out.
Probably.
Because we didn't secure them.
Oh, yeah, of course. But, like, there's so many parts. It's not just put the engine in. You have to build the engine with all the different parts.
It is literally every piece of an imaginable engine disassembled.
With no
and just
instructions.
on a shelf. None whatsoever. There are YouTube videos.
You can also buy nifty extras for your car.
Well, you got to get the car up and running first. But yeah, you can get like leopard skin seat covers and gigantic wings on the back.
Nice.
We did about a 35-40 minute video of it that if you want to see how bad we are at playing this game, it's on our Factory Sealed YouTube channel.
We couldn't even figure out how to do the shower, so...
So I actually made it to town, believe it or not.
My God.
I got in the van, the one that you and I crashed into the tree and couldn't get started again.
Yes.
Fortunately, we didn't die. So I took the van, tried driving on the actual road, took a wrong turn, and 15 minutes later I was still driving and didn't see anything. So I got a little agitated, shifted up a gear, started going faster, flipped the car, died. So I had to start all over again. This time I decided to look at the map and said, oh, I don't need to take the road. I can follow the lake and go around to town that way. So I made it into town, found my first human, flipped him off and pissed on him and drove away.
Just like real life.
Oh, yeah.
Also known as the Walmart experience.
He didn't do anything for me. I just pull up, I get out of my car, don't even shut it off or put it in park, get out immediately, give him the finger and press P, because I'd been drinking beer the whole drive over.
You sure you're not getting confused with real life again?
Oh, it's great. So I made it to the grocery store, which is just this little gas station. And they've got a bunch of different stuff in there you can buy, from motor oil to coolant. And then you've got your whole case of sausages, and you can buy juice and milk, bunch of ramen noodle type stuff. I spent all $3,000 at the gas station, just bought everything in there. What's annoying is that they give you, when you're done shopping, they give you a shopping bag. I'm like, oh, cool, everything's in here. Nope, all of the cases of beer had to be individually picked up and placed in the van, one by one. So then I threw the shopping bag in the back, drove home over the landscape around the lake, came in, everything was just spewed everywhere. So I had to pull all of this stuff out, one by one, go stack it. I just eventually started throwing the beer in the driveway. I'm like, I'll get it later. But I thought, some part of me thought the sausages had to be refrigerated. So I took the grocery bag.
That's the logical thing in this game.
Yeah, which doesn't make sense, because when you find your first packet of sausages, they're on the counter. So I guess it doesn't need to be.
You eat them raw.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I walk into the kitchen, open the refrigerator, and I have this plastic grocery bag, and I'm sticking it in there. Like, I thought I bought way more stuff than this. So when you're holding something, if you press F on the keyboard, it uses it. So, like, the dipper for the sauna just kind of tips it over. I pressed F, and there was just an explosion of sausage and juice and milk and ramen just spewing out of the fridge all over the kitchen floor. Like, well, that's good enough, and I just shut the door and go back to my business. It's just a kitchen floor covered in shit. So now if I'm hungry, I just walk in and grab a sausage off the floor that's probably been peed on.
It's such a good game.
It's so stupid. I mean, your guy's just an absolute bumbling idiot, because you can't even turn the shower on. So we probably spent 10 minutes trying to figure out how to turn the sauna on.
Yeah, we
couldn't get it.
But I was shouting. I was literally shouting at you, "Shut the door!" And you just wouldn't do it.
So somebody posted a suggestion on our video of how to do it. You have to, those dials underneath the furnace?
Yeah.
You have to use your mouse scroll wheel to turn them up.
Oh, of course.
And then wait for them to heat up, then pour the piss water on it.
Nice sauna.
It smells like ammonia.
It smells like asparagus. Asparagus and sausage.
It's a brilliant game. It is hands down one of the most fun games I've played in a long time.
It's a lot of fun to play with a friend.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's so
You
dumb.
can't play multiplayer, but just to kind of be experiencing it together is awesome.
Well, we just did a Skype share with you sharing your screen with me, and it worked quite flawlessly, actually. So
Yeah, you just couldn't hear the audio.
But I love the things he says when he flips people off.
Yeah, you can flip people off, or you can just press a button on the keyboard and he'll just randomly cuss at people. There's this whole dialogue tree of just cuss words and swearing and finish.
He just says things like, "You dick of a pussy." And it's just funny. It's something
great.
About pussies and Satan, and I was just like, what is going on?
Driving is exceptionally difficult because the mouse always controls your head. So if you climb into the car, it's not like it locks you into the seat. Wherever you are when you press enter to enter driving mode, that's where you are. So you can either be right up on top of the wheel or really far away or off to the side. And it's WASD for driving. But then your head, if you're moving your mouse around, moves your head. So it's really easy to get sidetracked and crash into a tree and die.
They need to do a VR version of this. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, it is phenomenally fun.
It is
$15.
Funny.
You can't find a better game to spend $15 on right now.
But if you want to spend a bit more, you could get Pokemon Sun and Moon, which came out this week for you.
Well, actually, I'm going to do a segue to a previous comment of speaking of VR.
I did a segue.
I know, so we're at a segue impasse. So we need to have Jess vote on which way we should go first. Which one's the more apt segue?
She's dead.
No, I'm waiting to hear them again. I thought we were doing option 1, option 2.
Okay, so Dan made a comment about they need to do a VR version of My Summer Car. My segue is, speaking of VR, and Dan went something about Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Eric said that it was the best $15 he's ever spent, and then I said if you want to spend a bit more money, you could get Pokemon Sun and Moon, which came out this week.
Yeah.
If you don't go with mine, I'm kicking you out of the call.
I'm gonna have to give it to Dan.
Oh, bye, Jess.
It's just, he set it up a little bit better. Yours was just a little bit too obvious.
Yeah, I thought mine was more subtle.
Yeah.
It had creativity and flair, whereas yours is just...
Hey, well, I spent a lot of time on my previous segue, so I blew my segue load early.
You blew it early.
It's like he's being
your
attacked
first
by a
one was
ghost.
golden.
Woo!
It was
the segue ghost.
It might even get segue of the day. I don't know, but the second one, it wasn't up to par. Sorry.
Oh, I'm here to bridge conversation.
Oh my god.
We're in an awfully sticky situation.
Speaking of sticky.
That segue doesn't work because you said it doesn't work on mine, so you cannot say you're speaking of sticky, here's some semen jokes.
Oh, for frig's sake,
I
just talk about
wasn't
VR.
going to even do anything. I just wanted to say that.
This will take 2 seconds because I actually have Pokemon Sun and Moon on my list of things to talk about.
Okay, go.
So yesterday, my doorbell rang.
Yeah,
and there was a package.
Yeah.
It was a guy from Vault Tech wondering if you wanted to go into the vault.
It was. I said no. So he handed me a Google Daydream VR headset.
Which I have to say has a horrible design.
Oh, I love the design. It's super inviting.
It looks like a rock.
The Samsung Gear VR is just this big, unruly piece of hard, ugly plastic. This looks like somebody... I used it for 3 hours yesterday.
After a week.
Oh, yeah. So let me tell you about it, Dan. I've tried all of the VR on the market with the exception of the Oculus, which I can't imagine is too different from the HTC Vive. I've tried HTC Vive, PlayStation VR, Samsung Gear VR, and now Google Daydream, because I have the new Pixel phone, which is the only phone that works on this as of now. What sets this one apart from the Samsung Gear VR is that it actually comes with a little motion control or motion track controller. Whereas the Samsung Gear VR has all the controls on the headset, so you're constantly having to have your hand up on the headset to do anything. And let me tell you what, it's a ton of fun. I haven't downloaded any paid games yet, but like the stuff that comes with it to just kind of give you an overview of, hey, here's the Daydream VR. It's on a different level. It's surprising how well the little controller tracks what you're doing without there being any sort of visual tracking between the two. I'm not sure how it does it. I think it's done through...
Cause Google.
Bluetooth. We'll go with Bluetooth. For $80, it's the best VR you can get into if you have a Daydream-enabled phone.
Which there's only one of.
For now, but there are going to be more that come out. So Google has set down a guideline, set down a list of expectations, and like if you want your phone to be Daydream capable, it has to have this.
But I
so
feel
I
like
the Pix. Go
the
ahead.
6P totally makes that list, and Google's like, we don't care about you anymore because we have the Pixel now.
Well, I think it has to have certain technology built into it. I don't know the recommendation. Yeah, you're old news. But the problem that I had with the Gear VR is that old phones didn't have a high enough resolution, and it gave you kind of that nauseous, this doesn't look very clear. Whereas the Pixel XL has a really high resolution. So I drop it in there, and it's not on par with HTC, obviously, but I'd never experienced any nausea or like, I'm not submerged in this world. So it's really neat. They drop like the first thing that they do is they drop you into this forest and kind of give you this overview of, hey, here's how shit works. And with the controller, it's really interesting because it has a little dot that tracks in front of you, and sometimes that gets off-centered. So all you do is you just hold a button on the bottom of the controller, and it just recenters everything immediately. So if it ever gets off track, you don't need to worry about shutting it down, restarting it. Just hold the button, snaps you back in focus.
Did you have the full 360-degree view as well?
Oh, yeah. Completely. So the controller, it has...
PlayStation VR has a massive limitation because it doesn't have that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And going from having played the Vive to PlayStation VR, it's a huge step backward. Because it only tracks 180 degrees.
Maybe that's why it's more affordable.
So one of the cool games that I was playing was the J.K. Rowling Magical Beasts and Where to Find Them.
All right.
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
I can never remember that. I was playing it for super long yesterday with a bunch of friends, and I kept calling it Magical Beast. Anyway, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. It just drops you into this library type world, and you're just kind of going around, and it's only about a 20-minute experience, but you're exploring and learning about these different beasts and using your wand to cast different spells, and you're just walking around. I mean, obviously, as you're walking, it doesn't do anything, but you can use there's a trackpad on the controller itself that you can use to move yourself around. Another mini game I played was, you guys remember the marble game called Labyrinth that you'd have where you'd twist it and like move the platform around on an axis, and it would move the marble around?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's one like that where you're kind of at like this bird's eye top-down view of it, and you're using the controller to manipulate the table. Another one, there's a little RPG-style minigame where you actually use the trackpad to run your character around, but you're submerged inside this VR world. It's super cool. I haven't had a whole lot of time to play with it. I got it yesterday evening, and the apps that they have, like Google Street View, you can drop yourself in and just explore around different street views in VR. You can take VR photos on your camera and drop them into this and experience them with sound and video. It's cool. It's really cool. If you have a Pixel, it's worth the $80, hands down. It's I think it's the best entry into VR right now.
You just constantly buy technology, don't you?
I got this for free.
Well, get you, sister.
Because I pre-ordered my phone.
I was going to say, so not really free because you pre-ordered your phone.
I paid
and that was a decision going in.
No, it wasn't. I was getting the phone anyway. I've been talking about that phone for a year. I'm going to get this phone. And they're like, here you go. Here's a free Google Daydream. But when they announced when they announced the Daydream, like, I'll probably pick that up because that looks pretty cool. The controller alone is worth it because there's so much you can do. There's a mini game where you can flip pancakes while sitting on a beach and try to stack as many pancakes as you can.
Well, that's the dream.
Like, I found
It is?
So I have cardboard, and I was so pumped about it when I first got it.
Cardboard's garbage.
No, but, like, I feel like it's similar in the
It's meant
sense
to be.
that,
It's
like,
made of cardboard.
it's gimmicky. Like, you're like, yeah, this is amazing, and I'm so pumped. But then, how often are you actually going to use it?
Google Cardboard is very limited in what it can do in terms of applications. A lot of it is just 3D panoramic pictures that you can look around. It's mainly Google Cardboard was designed for education to be used for virtual field trips. This is an actual VR gaming headset. There are full 3D high resolution games that you can play in this. It's not Google Cardboard.
Versus, like, because how many mobile games do you actually play on a day-to-day basis?
I'm not saying this is going to become the go-to gaming platform, but I think in order for VR to succeed as a whole, the mobile platform has to adopt it and show people, hey, here's VR. Because there's a lot of risk getting into VR.
Yeah.
If you get an HTC Vive, it's $900. Yeah, this is accessible. There's a very low risk because sooner or later, everybody's going to have a phone that's going to be capable of taking advantage of one form or another of mobile VR. It's just a matter of which one's going to be the best. And right now, I think the Google Daydream's the best. Not compared to the Oculus or the HTC, but on the mobile platform, I think this is the best.
So do you envision a future where everybody just wanders around with a VR headset on, like sitting on the train and stuff?
I would never play this in public.
This is the problem. What's the point of having a mobile VR headset if you aren't going to use it?
I think that's where the, like, entry level comes in, because if you're but if you're an entry level gamer and you kind of wanted to try out this VR stuff, why would you buy a system just for that versus using your phone as, like, a portable console type of approach?
I actually heard somebody in a shop earlier explaining it to some dad who was inquiring about, like, a crap VR headset, you know, the, like, cheap knockoff ones.
Yeah.
He's like, can you get this for the PlayStation as well? And the guy went, yes, but it would be much better.
Yeah.
Like, you're really selling it.
I think I don't know that VR is ever going to become 100% mainstream, just because I can't envision myself going, oh great, I want to play this game in a VR headset for 3 hours.
I think it's a gimmick.
I think as the way it stands now in the technology that we're able to utilize is a bit gimmicky. Until we can figure out how we're able to walk around without using a controller, I think we're going to be limited. But
Omnidirectional thingy.
Yeah, you need one of those crazy treadmills.
Yeah.
That you do.
Speaking of walking around, you can do that in Pokemon Sun.
Whoa, damn, that was a segue! Oh.
It's all good.
Damn right.
My first Pokemon game.
It sounds like a kid's Pokemon, like a proper kid's Pokemon game. My first Pokemon game.
Hey,
I can't believe you have got.
Have you guys heard of Pokemon? I think it's gonna be really big.
Easy Slowpoke.
Slowpoke.
I'm sorry, Dan. I interrupted you with my stupidity.
It's fine. I can't believe you got this far without playing a Pokemon game.
So I think what happened was that Pokemon was really popular with kids who were a few years younger than me, so I kind of missed that window.
And it was popular with my group, and we're the same age, so...
Yeah, that's a good point. He was too busy playing urban golf.
Either you were too cool, or I was too lame.
He was too cool. Have you seen him as a child?
Exactly.
I was more into...
check out this sick grind that I'm doing on my, like, skateboarding demo tape.
Hell yeah.
Did he ever do a Bills video?
Yeah, we've got accidents and stuff.
Oh, you should do one. I used to love the bail videos on Tony Hawk.
Oh, I was in a skateboard contest in Minneapolis when I was a kid that damn near wrecked myself on a handrail in front of a few hundred people.
Nice.
That would have been sweet. But I was too into skateboarding and playing guitar and riding bikes, and I just missed the Pokemon craze. I just flat out missed it.
Full on Pokemon craze for me.
I was Pokemon crazy.
And I kind of wish I would have been into it. I just never got into it.
I have very fond memories of playing Red and Blue with my friend and trading between the two games, and then getting into the cards.
Yeah, I was huge into the cards.
Watching the anime and just crying manly tears when he let Butterfree go. I'm not even ashamed to admit that.
When I was in middle school, I had a paper route that I'd do my paper route, and then I'd come home and I'd have about an hour before I needed to leave for school. And I'd just sit down and watch the Pokemon cartoon, and I don't know why I never got into the games, because I watched the cartoon every day.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Snorlax!
The song that they do at the end of every episode is so catchy, where they just name the Pokemon.
I can't remember that.
Oh,
remember
how
that.
they
Poker Rap.
all of them?
Yeah, the Poker Rap.
Yeah.
I'm so sad I can still remember what Team Rocket used to say, man. I used to love it.
Lord.
I feel like you can't not.
Prepare for trouble.
Make it double.
To protect the world from devastation.
Oh, fuck. Something
To unite
for...
all peoples within our nation.
That's it. Jesse.
No, to denounce the evils of truth and love.
To defend...
To extend our reach to the stars above.
Now Jesse and James.
Yes. Team Rocket, blast off at the speed of light.
Fuck, I'm bad then.
Surrender now or prepare to fight.
Did they
Meowth.
say that
Meowth!
That's right.
every time?
Yes. Every time.
Every time.
Every
Yeah.
time.
Every
they're on.
episode.
Yep.
Yeah. I think they got interrupted a couple times, so didn't they?
Yeah, and then on the newer ones, they had a Wobbuffet, which popped up at the end with Wobbuffet.
Where the fuck did Meowth go?
Meowth's still there. He says Meowth, that's right, and then Wobbuffet would always escape from his Pokeball and go Wobbuffet.
Oh, fuck that. Meowth was the best.
I actually watched a bit of the new Sun and Moon anime in Japanese the other day.
Was it good?
It's alright, yeah. He's gone on holiday with his mother, who appears to be going out with a Mr. Mime, which I found very odd.
Oh! Oh!
Not really,
Didn't-
but the Mr. Mime's sitting there next to her and it just looks like it's his dad. It's just really strange.
Didn't that happen? Like, wasn't Mr. Mime like someone... He was doing dishes for someone at some point, I feel like.
I think he's basically a servant, like Jeeves.
Oh my god! Oh, I was gonna go to an adult servant for a second there.
An escort?
Yeah, like, he's like a living...
He's basically
What's a Mr. Mime?
Ash's mom's sex slave.
Yeah!
I mean, she's got to make her money somehow.
You don't know what a
Not
Mr. Mime
see
is?
it? He has
No.
hands.
Man, you have missed out on so many Pokemon. I mean, how many are we up to now? 600 odd?
I know Pikachu, Bulbasaur, Squirtle.
Yeah, you do.
Intimately.
Intimately.
Jigglypuff.
Jigglypuff.
What does Jigglypuff evolve into, Eric?
Clefairy?
Nope.
Wigglytuff!
Wigglytuff.
I have no idea.
The best name ever! Jigglypuff, Wigglytuff.
Yeah, I don't know. So, neither of you have this yet.
No, it's not out yet.
No, because guess where I'm going on Thursday?
Pokemon Club.
No.
Poke
To a furry convention.
No, I'm so excited.
Moron Convention.
Yes!
Yes. The syrup convention.
No, a moron convention. I'm going to America.
Oh! What if we don't want you?
No, you have to take me.
Is
You guys have
no,
to-
we don't.
Is the Donald Letton Canadians in?
I was going to go there. I'm not doing it yet, but he calls us snow Canadians. No Mexicans.
No, he does
Mexicans.
not. That is proven false. Don't spread false information.
I'm not doing that anymore. But I'm gonna go Black Friday shopping.
Oh,
Black Friday's
God.
not a thing anymore down here. It's pretty much started already.
I don't give a fuck. I want to go Thursday night and see people stand in line and laugh at them.
And Jess will be officially
You're going to
there.
be one of the people in line.
No, I don't think I want to be in line. I just want to watch.
Just in the line, just pointing at the person in front of you.
That's
to
like
cackle
people
at them.
stuck in a traffic jam bitching about traffic. It's like you are the traffic.
You are the traffic. Don't
You're
ruin this for me.
the
I've
traffic.
never had American Thanksgiving.
I'm
and
gonna
I'm
go
gonna
stand in line at Black Friday and laugh at all the people standing in line. Losers.
So you're going to America to laugh at people.
I'm going to America to eat American Thanksgiving, and then I want the full American experience because we're going to play football, and then we're going to go Black Friday shopping, and I'm really
I
excited.
feel like you don't get the true American experience unless you go down and see Eric and get an American t-shirt and then go and straddle something.
That's the true American
I will
experience.
straddle something in America.
What's his
There
name
needs to
gonna
be a point. There, there needs to be a point where all of us get together and have a group straddle picture.
That sounds so
Ah,
wrong.
yes.
Not an orgy, Dan.
But so right. Just let it happen, Dan.
Yeah. Just embrace it. It's 2016.
But you'll have to see Eric's body, and that's not anything anybody wants.
Oh, yeah. I'll have to see Tom's smooth area.
Tom, on the other hand, I'm quite excited about, but, you know.
I'm excited for Tom's smooth area.
So
wanna see how
shiny.
smooth
It's so smooth if you polished it this morning.
He's got a wax buffer, just grinds it
He
into his
should have
smooth
been
area
here
every
for the
morning.
mustachio
Jeeves,
question.
wax my smooth hair.
Master Yam, I need you to extend your pelvis forward a little bit further.
What are we doing?
Making fun of Tom because he's not here.
Yeah, true. Oh yeah, Tom's not here. We didn't say that.
I think we started to, and then the volcano of dumb exploded.
Alright, okay. Yeah, if anybody's wondering where Tom is, he's making a bed.
He is making his smooth area.
He's currently trying to put the duvet cover on. He's inside it. He's got confused. He doesn't know where he is. He's trying to get out.
IKEA.
Yeah, he's inside IKEA. He's been there for several days.
He's just going to destroy his apartment.
living on
all
dime
that's gonna
bars
happen.
and meatballs.
Dime bars. Is it dime or dame?
I always said dime. It used to actually be called dime over here, spelt dime, but then they've changed it to D-A-I-M.
Put your teeth in, Dan.
I forgot any. I'm English.
They all fell out because we don't have fluoride in our water.
I think we do, actually.
Oh, so you just don't brush your teeth?
Correct. What's
Oh.
brushing teeth?
I don't know. Apparently you stick rocks in your mouth and chew them around.
Oh, yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
That sounds accurate.
Guys, should we get to our game of the week?
No. I want to hear more about Dan's teeth.
He doesn't have any. I remember
You have,
when I had
three.
teeth.
I had one once. Just the one.
This week, according to Dan, we were playing Star Blazer,
Yeah, close enough.
which the astute of you might know is not actually a game.
It is in my world.
Actually, is there a game called Star Blazer?
Probably.
Let's look. Quick goggle search. Star Blazers. Oh my god, it's
It's an anime.
animated TV series. Oh, that's
Star,
right.
Star Blazer video game. I wasn't being insane. I just got confused.
This is like a Battleship Yamato.
What?
Yeah, it's the American adaptation of the Japanese anime series Battleship Yamato. This shows the tits.
I've never seen this.
Oh, dude, you have to watch this. It's basically they take these big naval ships, like World War II style naval ships, and turn them into intergalactic traveling spaceships, and
As you do.
it's like an anime version of Battlestar Galactica.
So really,
The titties!
that was the game we were meant to play this week, and you've got it
No.
wrong.
No.
Yes,
No.
yes.
Nah.
And there's a Starblazer game on the Apple II.
Well, good thing we didn't play that, because we played Soul Blazer.
Soul Blazer.
Kind of carrying along with the Enix Quintet series of games.
Yeah.
Soul Blazer came out January 31st, 1992, and kicked off the official Quintet trilogy, quadrology of games.
Yes, apparently ActRaiser does not count.
But I'm almost positive ActRaiser is part of this series based on this game.
ActRaiser, I don't think I've heard of that game before.
It's the one we
Well,
played
if you would have
last
been on the
week, Jeff.
show last week,
No, I feel like there's a game that's similar, but it's called ActRaiser.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if it's the same.
oh, there's Jess with the jokes.
So funny.
We bow down to your glory. Well done, Jess.
Yes, good one. Good one. You had me convinced that you really didn't know what ActRaiser was.
I know. It was pretty
She
good.
plays the dumb card well, doesn't she?
Yes, and the dead card.
Yes.
And the Scarlett Johansson card.
No.
If she was dead.
I mean, you got the voice down.
And the looks, obviously.
Obviously.
Oh my god, it's snowing!
Oh my god, you live in Canada, isn't it always snowing?
Oh my god,
No.
it's like Christmas.
It's like
Sorry.
we're in winter. Okay,
We had snow the other day as well.
Really?
we had sunshine.
Shut up.
Lots of it. It dipped down into the 70s yesterday. It's going to be kind of chilly today.
It's 1 degree C here today.
Aw, diddums. Okay,
That's the
guys,
real
Soul Blazer.
temperature.
Let's focus. It's been an hour, and we're just getting to our game.
Right, that's what we usually do.
Okay, I'm just pointing it out.
I'm just saying that's what we usually do. We talk nonsense, then we talk about what's happened this week, and then we talk
Then we
about
talk about nonsense.
Then we talk about our game, and then we deviate from our game to talk nonsense.
Oh, you know what? We'd never actually talked about Pokemon.
I know, you just bypassed it.
Well, because you guys started talking about something else.
No, you did.
America.
But there's really not much to talk about because neither of you have it.
Oh, I'm gonna get Moon this week, so I can play it on my way down to America. That's how that story was gonna go.
Got it. Well, I got Sun.
But you have to give me Vulpix.
Okay.
You're gonna,
What's in it for me?
You're going to evolve it into Ninetales.
Obviously, well, I want 2.
Duh.
You can have Sandshrew.
Eric, I think you should try and get all 600 odd Pokemon.
Are they all in this?
I don't know. That's... Well,
Dan, are you getting Moon or
I'll be
Sun?
getting Sun.
Why? For someone who's as big of a fan as you, why don't you just
Get both?
buy it?
Because I always get my games this time of the year for Christmas.
Diddums.
I prefer to, because then during the Christmas break, I have like 6 new games to play, and I can just do that for like 2 weeks. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so shut up.
Okay.
I am excited to get it though. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. Did you guys see the news about apparently Nintendo is making it for the Switch?
You mean Nintendo?
Yes. I like to call
Yes,
them
I did see that.
Nintendo.
I gotta get a Nintendo game for Crimbo.
Which will be the first proper core Pokemon on a console if it actually is true.
Huh. I'm really enjoying it so far. It's... we were having a conversation with some of our listeners on Facebook about this, and Andrew Thorson actually said that this is the first one that he's not getting because he kind of got burned out via Pokemon Go. Whereas for me, Pokemon Go is the game that kind of pushed me towards wanting to get this.
I feel Pokemon Go is a very different experience, though. This is like...
Oh, it is,
it's an
but it
RPG,
kind of...
really, with a lot of depth, Pokemon.
It got me into the concept of, hey, I kind of want to play this game. I want to play Pokemon because I was getting invested in these characters and the Pokemon itself and evolution and all that. I'm like, you know what? Let's give this a shot. So that's when I stopped playing Pokemon Go because I didn't want to burn out on it.
I mean, the core Pokemons are a lot better.
I get it, but I feel like from what I've read so far, people have said this one's very approachable for newcomers without sacrificing a lot of the core depth for the longtime fans.
Yeah, they've done away with a lot of series mainstays like HMs, and you know what they are. Do you know what they are, Eric?
No.
Basically, it's a hidden machine. In traditional Pokemon, you always had to have what's called an HM slave, like one Pokemon which would do most of your HM moves because you need them to get through the world. So you had like Cut and Surf and Waterfall and Dive and things like that, but all that's been done away with, and now you can just use Pokemon called Poker Rides or something to get around the world.
Okay.
But that has been in place since Pokemon Red and Blue. So that is a pretty big deal to get rid of that. They've also done away with Mega Evolutions, which they introduced in X and Y, I believe.
Okay.
They've now been replaced with Z moves, which are basically like very powerful moves you can use once per battle.
Yeah, there's a lot that I still have to learn.
Types.
So I apparently have already caught an exceptionally rare Pokemon very early in the game.
Really?
Oh yeah, I caught Pichu right away. Which from what I read, he's quite rare. He does appear in one of the Alola's tall grass areas at the beginning, but very, very uncommon. And he just popped up for me, and I got him first try. So,
all right. In all the Pokemons I've played, I've never found a shiny Pokemon. Have you heard about this before?
Yes, and I was reading about that. There are people that are restarting their game hundreds of times because you can actually get a shiny as a starter because all the starters have different variations.
Really?
Yeah.
God, that would be annoying. Which starter?
Oh, the opening scene is like 35 minutes. It's not short.
Oh, okay. Which starter did you go with?
I went with Rowlet.
Is that the red? Is that the fire one?
Owlet, Rowlet.
Oh, no, it's the grass Pokemon, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've heard this one actually for the first time ever tells you what moves are effective against different enemies as well, which is new. As from my experience with Pokemon is I know what kind of is weak against and what's resistance against the different types, but you coming in would have no idea. I mean, some of them are obvious, but now you've got like Fairy and Dragon Pokemon, which have different weaknesses and strengths, and then it gets really confusing. But something like Fire and Water, obviously Water is going to be strong against Fire. But apparently this one tells you, which is useful.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This has become my bedtime game / I have a few minutes here and there. Or if I'm on a road trip with somebody, just pop this in and play. It kind of sucks that it came out so close to Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
So close.
I'm kind of glad I'm not getting it, because that would be good. Is Final Fantasy 15? No, it's not next week, it's the week after, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's a week from Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Are you guys getting it?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, I'm getting it.
I could get the
I've
worst
got release
reviews in
day
the
delivery.
world, and I would still get that.
But Dan.
Oh, I agree. I mean, this thing could get a 1 out of 100 and I'd still buy it.
It looks sick, though. Like, so
It does
good.
look so good. Jess, you have to get it.
This thing's going to be so far off the nipples, you can't even see them.
My nipples? What?
Yeah, there's going to be so far off the tip of the nipples that you can't even see them.
Yeah, no,
Maybe
I
the
think I
hair
will.
from the nipple you still might be able to
specifically
see.
your nipples, Jess, but anybody's nipples.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's a wide variety of nipples.
That's true.
We're just
It's not all about me.
going with the baseline. So Soul Blazor. Let's talk about Soul Blazor.
Not Starblaze
Not Star Blazor. We could do a Star Blazer show. But today we're talking about Soul Blazor, which I'm convinced is a continuation of the ActRaiser game, even though it says it's not.
It is.
It has to be. So the story is there's this kingdom called the Frail Empire, which I think is a really bad pun of a name, because this
I think it
empire
would be
then
terrible.
gets destroyed. The kingdom of Frail gets destroyed.
By the most ridiculously evil-sounding thing in the world, Mr. Death Toll.
Well, here's the thing. The kingdom is destroyed, or the empire is destroyed by the temptation of King Magdred. Magdred was generally considered to be a kind and loving ruler. However, he heard of this genius inventor called Dr. Leo, and the king decided, I want to see if I can use him to my advantage to get rich. Ordered his guards to go capture Dr. Leo and bring him back to the castle. Dr. Leo was then locked away, and the king ordered him to invent a machine that would summon the king of evil, Death Toll.
That's a good idea.
In the hopes that the king could strike a deal with Death Toll to make him rich. The deal then was the king was to bring Death Toll all of the living creatures, and in return he would get 1 gold for each. Subsequently wiping the planet of living creatures.
But surely there's no need to be rich if there's nobody about. You could just take things.
So essentially he could just go kill everyone and get the same thing.
Yes.
Now,
I don't think
this is where I
don't think he's thought this through.
This is where I'm convinced that this is a continuation of ActRaiser, because 2 people watched this happen. The Master, specifically referred to as the Master, who, if you recall, that's who you were in ActRaiser, referred to as the Master.
Yes.
And then the Follower. And in this game, you play as the Follower.
Yes.
So, the Master is willing to give the king a chance to redeem himself. So he sends you, the Follower, to revive all the living and punish evil.
I feel like this Master guy isn't doing a very good job, because on ActRaiser, he was also responsible for letting everybody get killed, right?
Because he took a nap.
Yeah. And on this one, what was he doing on this one?
Just watching.
Just on the shitter.
Yeah, like, let's just see where this goes. I mean, he's wiped out half the planet. Let's just see where this goes.
I mean, that guy down there with the ridiculously evil name, he's not causing any bother.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the king of evil.
He's called Death Toll. I mean, what more do you want?
Yeah. So, you, the Soul Blazor, get sent down to Earth, or Gaia, I think, or the planet.
Why are all planets on RPGs called Gaia?
Well, actually, I think there's a reference in this. The Master's name is Gaia.
Right, but it is a very common, actually, because it's an Enix game, isn't it? So
yeah.
So I think Gaia is the name of the planet on at least a few of the Final Fantasies.
Final Fantasy VII for sure.
9 is Gaia and Terra, because you have the 2 worlds.
Yep. I don't know what it is in 8. I don't think they reference it.
I'm sure it's called Terra in one of them.
I don't know. So, this game as a whole, you are tasked with reviving the planet. And the best way I can describe what Soul Blazer is, it is a dungeon-crawling town builder.
Yes.
Very similar to ActRaiser, except now you're dungeon crawling in a top-down view versus a side-scrolling 2D.
Yes, but you also don't have direct control over the town. It does it automatically.
It's very similar. I think it's more similar to Dark Cloud.
Yeah.
Except you don't get to place where things are. So the game is divided into 6 sections. Each section has 2 within it, a combat and a non-combat. The non-combat is the town area that when you first get there has one sentient being that just kind of says, hey, this is who we are, this is what happened, here's the way to the dungeon. So you go into the dungeon, and all of the enemies are spewing forth from generators. And as you defeat those enemies coming out of there, there's a finite number of enemies coming out of each generator. When you kill them, the generator disappears and leaves a green dot on the ground. You walk over it, it does one of 2 things. It either opens up another doorway or a route in the dungeon, or goes back to town and revives a building or a person or
a talking flower.
Something. A talking flower, a bird, a tree, something in town. And that's about it.
Yeah, the whole reviving things cool, but I feel it kind of detracts from the experience because you're constantly killing things and then goes back and shows you a little clip, and then you do it again, goes back and shows you another clip.
So would you rather they just didn't show you what showed up and it just kind of leaves that mystery of go back to town? Oh, what's new?
No, I just feel like there'd be a more seamless way to do it. Like, after you beat the boss, it restores a certain section of the town or something. I mean, it's cool, but it's... I just feel like sometimes I just want to crack on, you know?
Well, at least they didn't make you go back to town constantly. They did break up the dungeon a little bit in that you can't just progress 100% through the dungeon, because you get to a point, like at the very beginning, the first mountain town, you get to a part where there's an elevator and you can't utilize the elevator. So as long as you have restored the watermill yes, in town, you have to head back, activate the watermill, which then powers the elevator. So it kind of forces you somewhat to go back to town and explore and talk to people, because you can't progress deeper into the dungeon until you complete something from the town. But it's not too heavy-handed.
Did you talk to the creepy old woman who spawns first?
Where she said that I'll be your mother?
Yes. My God, that was weird.
You can call me Mom and then use the room upstairs.
Freaky deaky bitch.
Good Lord. That's the gist of the game. I mean, it's not very complex.
No.
The enemies do not respawn. So
some do.
You will die a lot. Well, there are very few enemies that respawn, but the enemies that come out of the generators,
they don't come.
Once that generator is defeated, they never come back again. So level grinding really isn't a thing.
Which is weird.
It is, but if you destroy every generator in each dungeon, you will not be underleveled for the boss.
But it just feels like it's weird.
Well, would you rather... I mean, so the combat in this...
level grinding for level grinding, but it's just different.
It's odd for an RPG of this era not to have level grinding. That's basically what you said.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome, Jess. I will speak for you.
I appreciate it.
The combat's interesting in this. It's top-down. You have your sword. You have a little floating magician around you that casts different spells for you as you gain them. But what I thought was interesting is that there's no knockback in this game. So when you swing a sword, and like in Zelda, when you hit an enemy with your sword, he bounces back. In this, the enemy doesn't. When you get hit, you don't bounce back. So it gives you the ability to just land a bunch of successive attacks, but it also makes it so that you can be killed very quickly.
Yeah, I tended to find there's a sweet spot in most areas where you can just stand and the enemies won't come, but they'll come near you so you can hit them. I found this a lot. Is it anybody else?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like you hide behind a corner or something.
Or a rock or something like that, and they usually come near you but not close enough to hit.
The other thing, too, is you can do what they call crab walking in the game, where if you hold L or R, your sword sticks out and you kind of just move like you're strafing. Mm-hmm. So if you stick your sword out and then just kind of walk backwards, the enemy will continually walk into it and kill themselves. But that attack does less damage than if you just swing your sword. But for very early on in the game, it's great. Just stick your sword out, they walk into it as you're slowly walking backwards.
Is that a thought? I'm gonna walk into it and see what happens.
This hurts. Should I do it again? Oh, it still hurts.
I'm gonna headbutt it now.
Yes.
Stupid enemies.
Yes. The combat's not that difficult. It really isn't.
Until you get to the boss.
That first boss, oh my God.
Oh, it was a pain in the ass.
How many tries did it take you?
At least 10.
It took me 1 because I've done this multiple times before, but it is a bitch. So there's this, what is he, a dragon?
I don't know.
He's something.
He's something.
He's something. He's not nothing.
Like a beast thing.
Yeah. You're in this room. He's on a walkway across a gap.
Mech, actually.
Is it?
I think it's got a name like Mech. Something.
Yeah, he's on a walkway on the other side of this.
He's called.
Is he? Oh, well, then he is a mech. He's on a walkway on the other side of this gap. You're on a walkway opposite him, and there are 3 moving platforms, or like
Conveyor belts.
Conveyor belts, that's the word I was looking for. 2 of them go towards you, the other one goes towards him. And he fires off, he kind of tracks where you are and fires off these fireballs in a triangle pattern. And if you get too close to him, he swings his tail and pretty much kills you one hit if you get hit with his tail.
Yep.
What tactic did you use to finally beat him?
The crab walk in the middle. I would lure him towards the left, wait until he did his fireball attack, and then wait until he's coming towards the middle, kind of run forward, hit him a few times with the sword, retreat, and just repeat.
Yeah, that's pretty much the best way to do it. I've yet to find another way to do it effectively. It takes a long time.
It does. He's got a lot of health. But
and if you don't
level grinding, of course, to get stronger. So
if you don't have a medical Herbert, yeah. If you don't have a medical plant, I don't think you could beat this.
Because they revive you automatically, right?
Yes.
I don't know. I think the time I finally killed him, I don't think I used one because I was used to his patterns.
That's true. But there is a lady in town that gives you one for free every time. So if you don't have one, just head back to
the
her.
Local weed supplier there.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting how the game is laid out, too, because it doesn't require you... Halfway through the dungeon, there's a teleport that takes you back to the master. And then from the master, you can go to town, the entrance to the dungeon, if there is one, and then the halfway point. Or no, the middle part of the dungeon, and then they always have a teleport right by the boss, too.
Yeah.
So they do a good job of not making you have to backtrack through the entire dungeon if you die.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, you can't save unless you go back to the master, can you? So...
Yeah.
Which is kind of a ball ache. If you're not save stating.
Jess, are you there?
I'm here.
I think the obvious question that we all need to ask is, how far did you get?
Daniel, what is my opinion on this question?
Miss Clarkson would like to state that although she had the best intention of actually playing Soul Blazer, she found herself distracted by various curling irons and dogs and cats. And she also partaked in a bit of rug munchiering on Friday when she was meant to play it, so instead she could not.
Indubitably. How do you say that word?
Indubitably.
I don't even know what you're trying to say.
I can't say it.
Indubitably.
I just get fuddled up on the dubility.
I don't even know what you're going for.
Indubitably.
Indubitably.
There you go, just indubitably.
Eric just didn't play this game.
No, I started. I didn't get very far.
Okay, how far?
You got past the title screen.
Past the title screen.
Did you make it into the dungeon?
Just into it.
You literally played 0 of this game.
No.
What?
You played 0 of this game.
Named myself Jock Buns Jr.
My guy was called Jock Buns.
I was Cran.
Every time people kept calling me Jock Buns, it was hilarious.
Well, now you have a son out there, so...
I'm totally, when I'm getting Pokemon Sun, calling myself Jock Buns if it fits.
How far into the dungeon... Did you close a generator?
No.
What?
So you played none of this game?
What?
I got past the title screen.
Literally, all you can do at the beginning is you land in the town and walk to the dungeon.
I don't know how you can get that far on a game.
Like,
I know,
did you
it
set
was
aside
a lot of
3
work.
minutes to play?
Yeah, I was gonna wake up super early and play a ton of it today, and then you're like, we're doing it for 2 weeks. And I was like,
Miss
okay.
Miss Jess would like to state that the curling iron was very nearby when she was playing this game and she got distracted.
It
Speaking
has
of
so
names,
many settings. Leave me alone.
Speaking of naming your characters, when you name your character in Pokemon, do you give it your name or do you give it something dumb?
I used to always
My
call
name.
it Ash. back in the day. But nowadays it's just, generally me.
Yeah, I debated going something dumb, but I'm like, I'm going to be playing this for like 50 hours. I don't know if I want something dumb.
But you can nickname your Pokemon dumb things, so...
Yeah. Good. Okay, back to Soul Blazer and how much Jess didn't play of it. You didn't let us down, Jess. We knew it was coming.
Obviously. But next week, it's happening.
What if we don't get... I said we may do
you
it
guys
over 2
haven't
weeks.
gotten that far either.
Much farther than you. I'm about 4 hours in.
Yeah, and it's at least a 10-hour game.
Best
So
crack.
you haven't played enough to form a constant
But
opinion.
here's my criticism of the game. That each of the 6 sections is identical. There's 0 variation in what you're doing. It's very similar to ActRaiser in that no 2 sections are that different. Just, here's a town, bunch of people missing, go into the dungeon, close the generators, restore town, beat boss, move on, rinse, repeat.
Jess, if it helps, on the second section you can rescue animals.
Done.
You don't even have to kill them. And there's also goats that talk to you.
I think we also have to talk about Overwatch because it's free
Well,
this
hold
week.
on, we're not done
No,
with
but I'm just
Soul
saying
Blazer.
in that game, I killed a crow and I felt so bad,
Oh,
so I
for
really
God's
need to
sake.
atone for my...
Oh, good. In Battlefield, I crashed an airplane into a horse.
Yes, you also need to atone.
Nah.
Repent.
Next time I'll run it over with a tank.
You're gonna get bird shit all over your car because birds
Good.
know. Birds
Good.
know, Eric.
Good.
Great.
So, Dan, did you catch the... Well, you probably wouldn't have because you haven't played anything else after this. So Dr. Leo is a painter and an inventor whose name I'm pretty sure is a reference to Leonardo da Vinci. He has pets that you encounter throughout each of the game's area. There is Turbo the dog, Lou the dolphin, Mary the doll, and Nom the snail.
Nom 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 nom.
Nom nom. Turbo the dog is important because there is a Turbo the dog that also appears in Illusion of Gaia, Robotrek, and Terranigma, which are also Enix games. So recurring character.
I like the name Turbo for a dog.
Yeah.
Let's get a new dog and call it Turbo.
There's a part of the game that I actually think is pretty interesting. Dr. Leo leaves a paintbrush that in each of the towns there... Well, not... Is it each of the towns? At least in the first town, there's a painting that you touch with this paintbrush and you get teleported into it, and it kind of expands more upon the story of what's happening. There's also a dream rod that if somebody's asleep, you can enter their dream, and that usually helps you advance to a further part within the dungeon or within the town itself.
Yeah,
like in the
I
second town...
Forgot about that in the second town because there was a sleeping bird, and I was like, right, he's not doing anything.
I'd actually look that up because I forgot I had the dream rod.
I thought it was
So you
just a
touch
one
the
time
bird.
and gone thing, you know.
Yeah. But that's that.
It is. I mean,
What do you...
it's all right. It's pretty good. I would have liked to spend more time with it this week, but I haven't had a lot of time. So I think it might have to be a 2-weeker.
Do we want to make it 2 weeks?
I think I'd quite like to play through it.
Okay.
Would enjoy that.
Jess will probably get partway through the first dungeon.
And the week after that will be Final Fantasy chat. So
Oh yeah, that week. I think it's important to give everybody a heads up that we will have no retro game talk that next week.
I've been thinking about this. We can talk about Final Fantasy 15, and we can also go into our favourite moments from the Final Fantasy series, which I want people...
Or how Final Fantasy 15 deviates and expands upon the series to make it better from where it was.
Basically, think
Bingo.
of a factory-sealed Final Fantasy special.
Good call, Dan.
Thank you.
Jolly good you used up your good brain cells for the day.
I did, yes.
Yeah. Gotta rub a couple more together. Now it's just drooling the rest of the...
Huh?
Huh?
Wait.
Hold on.
Wait.
Huh?
What?
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 What? Somebody throw a towel against a wall?
What?
What? Oh, Dan, you sent us a message. You sent us an audio message in WhatsApp. Was that a fart?
That was an accident.
What?
An accidental fart?
I don't know. I looked at my phone. It sent an audio message. I have no idea what it is.
It sounds like a little soft fart.
It probably is.
A dainty fart?
Oh, it's dainty.
I'll be sure to send a more impressive one next time.
Please don't.
I will.
Okay, Jess, you want to talk about Overwatch?
Yeah.
Can we not?
Why?
I don't know.
Daniel has been enjoying
I
it.
have.
2 against 1.
Well, what's basically happened here is Eric's played a tiny bit of it, decided he didn't like it, and just cracked on.
No, we played a ton of it with the open beta, and it just wasn't my jam. I get why people like it. I hear it's fantastic. I just don't like it.
Why?
Try it again.
I don't know.
Free.
It's one of these games that I picked up and I was like, I don't know if I like this very much, but I wanted to just go back and play it more because it's so fun.
That's what I really like about it, is it's so much fun, and I'm not one for like online multiplayer types of games, but I don't know, man. It's just really good.
What's good about it is it flips FPS multiplayer on its head by introducing a lot of new abilities and stuff.
Yeah.
This is what's beautiful about it. It's not just another carbon copied FPS game. There's so much depth to the different characters and how you can use them. And
it's not serious. Like, it is serious.
I love the cartoony aesthetic of it and stuff.
Yeah. And very arcadey, so it feels like you're having a lot more fun playing it than it's this like serious soldiery type of game.
It's not just like COD where you run around a corner and die instantly.
Yeah.
I mean, you can.
See, I played it.
You to get attacked by.
So I played it on PC for the beta, and maybe that's why I didn't like it, because I feel like the PC FPS community is way better and way harder to play against. So
seriously, it's free for another day. I would try it, Eric, because it's really good fun.
I've been playing it on PC. That's where I play it, and it's been a blast. Like, I actually I have been called an angry feminist because I told someone that he shouldn't use the N-word, and that's pretty much the only super negative interaction that I've had. Like, there's been a bunch of jerks that are, like, mean to people, but
it actually encourages team play a lot, though. More so than other FPS games, because you can use a lot of the characters with other characters to be more effective.
To create combos.
And, like, communicating when, like, your, like, ultimate type of thing is ready, so you can, like, really just trap a bunch of people. Like, it's a really...
I mean, like, one character can throw down a turret to protect an area while another provides sniper support. And it's just really good. Like, I've been using the guy with the bow, and he's really good. For his ultimate attack, he fires like a dragon, which does loads of damage. And I dropped off a ledge, and because you can use an arrow to see where people are briefly.
Yeah.
I used that, and there was 3 people down a corridor. I shot the arrow at them all at the same time, and it killed all 3 of them. I was like, yes, so good.
Yeah, that's the best. Hanzo's the best for, like, just watching where people are. And, like, Hanzo, there's another character, Zarya, who has pink hair, and her ultimate is like a gravity thing, so she can pull a bunch of people together.
Oh, that's
then
you
can use
Hanzo. I discovered I was just really good with the bow guy, and I've been using him pretty exclusively. I was using the guy who throws the ninja stars for a while,
Genji.
Yeah, and but I really like him. I was on like a 15 kill streak with him as well.
Yeah,
and it's just a lot of fun to play.
I like Diva.
And not like everybody can sprint, and not everybody can climb, so you have to really think about which character you're using.
Yeah, and who's good against who, and
it's just really a fun game. I've asked for it for Christmas now because I like it that much.
How many games do you get for Christmas?
A lot.
Good Lord. What's the point in, like, Christmas if you know what you're going to be getting? That's half the fun of Christmas. Like, I don't know what I'm getting.
Eric, I'm 26. I don't care anymore. I just want games.
So buy them.
No, why buy them? Why not get other people to buy them for me?
The true American way.
I was going to say, an adult child.
Yeah. Mommy, Daddy, I want video games.
But you're forgetting, of course, that it is my birthday the day after Christmas as well. So.
And you're an only child.
Yes.
Yeah. So, spoiled McGee over here.
Yes. So, yeah, looking forward to Christmas.
'Tis going to be fun. Thankfully, I've got 2 weeks off to play nothing but Final Fantasy.
Oh, man.
And we're not traveling.
You got 2 weeks off in December.
So, well, all of my accounts shut down for 2 weeks, so basically.
Okay.
And you're not traveling this year?
No, hell no. Hell no.
Well played.
Because now we have to pay for a flight for our oldest. They're not free anymore.
Strategic baby making. Well done.
Yeah, I know. I know. So, any other games that we want to talk about?
Nope.
I think you have a game that you want to talk about.
Me?
It's called Genital Jousting.
Genital Jousting.
Oh, yes! Guys. We have to play this. It's online multiplayer. It's called Genital Jousting. And it's basically penises and balls with a butthole that you have to try to stick yourself into somebody else's butthole.
You sure you didn't find this
score
on a
points.
hentai site or something?
This is an actual game in Steam Early Access. It's $4.99. There are different
Oh my god.
game modes like Wiener Roundup, where you have to try to round up wiener dogs into a gate.
Aww.
Jess, no, that's not cute.
No.
They're wiener dogs. Oh my god, are they actually wiener dogs?
They are actually wiener dogs. Did you not watch that trailer I sent you?
No, well, I did for like a second and I got very concerned, so then I stopped.
Okay. It's very odd.
Shocker.
The main point is to avoid getting intimate with other people because you both get points. Or they get points for getting intimate with you.
Oh, yeah.
You need to block other people from your hole while attempting to get into other people's holes.
Yeah, that's always the goal in life, isn't it?
Yes.
So weird. So weird.
Dan, do you remember a few years ago on Xbox Live Arcade there was a kind of a tower building style game with these dudes that had swinging nutsacks and you had to like climb up them
No.
using what the hell was that called?
Anybody know?
It was just-
Anybody
we
know
watched a
Swinging
video.
Nuts that game? Write in and tell us.
Boy, this is going to be a very odd Google search.
Your computer's used to it.
Oh yeah, it's like, oh, this is it? That's not very bad.
It's like that episode of
I don't know. I'll have to look. I'll have to
episode
look.
of South Park.
Is Aaron on the show? Because I hear dogs.
Oh, I forgot to mute my mic, sorry.
We only have one email this week. If you want to send us an email, factorysealed@manatank.com, or leave it on our Facebook page. And this is a question that's already been asked by Jack Grant. Have you guys watched Stranger Things?
Yes.
We talked about that, right?
We have, yes.
Yeah.
So
I mean that's our only email for the day.
we have 2 Facebook questions though. I put out a list
We
for questions.
do.
Well done, Daniel.
Yes.
So
Okay,
Mr.
take it away,
Mr.
Dan.
Miles Prower, Tails himself, has asked, what games do you have sealed that you don't have additional copies of? I feel we've probably answered this as well.
All of my sealed copies. Yeah, all with the exception of Dark Cloud 2.
Personally, I don't have sealed games because I like
open
to play
everything.
games that I purchase. But yeah,
Me too. I literally will open, like, if I buy something, I will open it on the way home.
yeah, I'm the
I
same.
don't know why.
There's
I just
not a manual
love it.
inside, and I cry.
So generally, the thought process behind mine is that
Yeah.
if it's a brand new game that I've bought, like it just came out, I'll generally open it. I don't know why I never opened Kingdom Hearts 2.
Because you're an idiot.
It's just, it became one of those things that, I haven't opened this. Let's just not open it and see how long I can keep it sealed. Mainly because I lost interest in Kingdom Hearts. But other games that I have sealed were ones that I just found on super clearance. I'm like, this would be cool to add to the collection, and I bought it and just stuffed it on the shelf.
I can't. I have to open it. Like, nope, I have to do it.
I do, so.
I don't. That's where we differ. Yeah. Like, I bought Lufia on the DS. Really, really, really wanted to play it. Never opened it. Don't know why.
What a fool.
Does that mean that all of my Steam games that I've purchased and never actually played are factory sealed?
Digitally sealed.
I'm kidding.
Yes.
Follow the puns. We have another this one.
Yeah, we have another question, Dan.
We do. Would you like to read
Take it away? Shannon McIntosh writes, when you were on the losing side of a console war, when were you on a losing side of a console war, and were you either in denial or oblivious to it? Example, I had a Master System as a child and thought it was superior to the NES. We had the better Double Dragon. R-Type was a killer. And for my buck, there wasn't a better game than Wonder Boy and Monsterland. Turns out I was oblivious. I hadn't had too much exposure to the NES at the time and was convinced that my system was superior. Dan, I think you're quite familiar with being on the wrong side of the console war.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would say to each his own. It depends on what your favourite is. So I wouldn't say I was losing at all. There was a lot of good games on the Genesis. A lot of good games.
So what was the second part of the question? And were you in denial?
Or oblivious. I think he's in denial.
Okay.
You're so understanding. I'm trying to be nice and embrace all gaming, whereas you two are like, the NES?
You're an idiot. No. We're talking about the difference between Genesis and Super Nintendo. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find many people that agree the Genesis was superior.
They are wrong.
I agree it had a lot of good games, but the Super Nintendo as a whole, I think, was better.
Correct.
And found more success. Because, Dan, remind me if I'm wrong, which company is still around?
Sega.
No.
Yeah, I think you'll find they are still around, actually.
Making consoles. Sorry, I didn't know that I needed to add
you did.
Asterisk to my question.
First bit, so shut up.
How about the battle between, was it Game Boy and Game Gear?
Oh yeah, the Game Gear was shit.
Yeah. Then they had the Sega Nomad, which was the tits, but just blew through battery. Did the Virtual Boy even have a... I mean, that just was denial and oblivious to being on the wrong side when you're the only side.
It's pretty dumb.
Well, you can't be on the wrong side, if you're the only side.
But how can you be the only side and still losing the console war?
There's no losers if there are no winners.
Well, the Virtual Boy clearly lost. Dreamcast versus the PlayStation. Well, obviously, but there are people out there that chose Dreamcast. I'm just coming up with some of the major console wars. I think once we hit PlayStation and N64 is when the console war kind of switched into what do you prefer, because they were both great.
For different
arguably
reasons.
Then it moved up to PS2, GameCube, Xbox. They were all great in their own accord. I think GameCube was obviously when Nintendo started to drift down to like, this is for the people who just really like Nintendo stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't a major competitor in the console war. The PS3 versus Xbox 360, I think a lot of people might say the 360 was better.
Yeah.
But now this time, I think you're going to find almost an overwhelming majority of people say PS4 is better.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's much war going on anymore. It's kind of very similar this generation.
But I think now it's just you get people all the time are you okay, so dating stories again. I would say probably 50% of the people that I had messaged, because I said that I was a gamer, one of their third questions would be like, Xbox or PlayStation. Not even joking.
Why?
Would they judge you on that then?
Well, I would judge them as well. I don't want to be with someone who fucking plays Xbox. Fuck that.
Take note, all you would-be suitors. If you want Jess to like you, sell your Xbox. Burn it, in fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might as well. It's gonna die anyway.
Yeah, duh.
Obviously.
The one thing that the Xbox One has going for it that I'm not sure Sony has a misstep here, but the Xbox One has a 4K Blu-ray player in it now, which is huge because up until this point, the only one on the market was like $400 just for a 4K Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
Sony opted not to put it even in, like the Xbox S, their low end, not even their Project Scorpio one, the Xbox S has a 4K Blu-ray player in it. The PS4 Slim does not. The PS4 Pro. That's the thing. So I was having a conversation with a buddy about this, and he's like, "That's a misstep. Sony missed it. It's wrong. They needed to have that." And I said, "You know what? When's the last time you physically bought a movie?"
Never.
I used to buy a ton of movies. We bought Finding Dory on Blu-ray just because I don't really like owning digital copies of movies. But it's moving that way. The advent of streaming and 4K streaming with Netflix now, I don't think physical medium DVDs are going to be, or Blu-rays are going to be as huge as they currently are 5 years from now. And I think Sony's doing the right thing by keeping costs down by not putting one of those in there.
But that's what I mean. Like, the Blu-ray Xbox kind of seems like a PS3 move. Like, it seems like the previous gen type of decision, whereas Sony's kind of above that and like, yo, we did that last time. Like,
well, Sony has always been
anymore
at the cutting edge of game decisions. They made their, I mean, obviously there were consoles that did this before, but they really mainstreamed CD mediums, memory cards. With the PS2, I don't know if a lot of people remember this, but the PS2 was one of the first affordable DVD players on the market. That's the first DVD player we had in our house as a family, was my PlayStation 2.
Same with PS3 and Blu-ray. Like, that
PS3 had Blu-ray, yep.
That was a big push for, like, Andrew to buy one with me. Well, it's a Blu-ray player. It might as well.
And they put hard drives in their consoles with the PS2.
So I think that it's kind of a little bit of a, ooh, look at us and how old school we are.
The only thing I think,
Xbox.
the only thing I think the Xbox has got going for it is the backward compatibility thing, which I would quite like on the PS4. I must admit. I
think the issue with that, though, that we've talked about is that the architecture, the architecture is too different. But then again,
surely they could have meant
backwards compatibility. Backwards compatibility really only existed for one, maybe two generations. The Super Nintendo couldn't play NES games. The N64 couldn't play Super Nintendo games.
But isn't it really interesting that gamers want that so much that it's constantly brought up?
It is, but look at what they would have to do from an engineering perspective to make that happen.
They've got money.
They would have to put more stuff in there, therefore increasing the cost of the consoles. Granted, the DS, the 3DS is... I'm sure it could, but they'd have to put the architecture in there from the PS3.
Yeah, make an emulator.
But then
they've done it for PS2, so...
Right? Like,
well, they did it with the PS3 first came out,
and they've got they've got the PS Now thing or whatever it's called.
Yeah, the subscription that I paid for accidentally because I wanted to see how much it was.
How much did you pay for?
$20.
I had a free trial and didn't.
I think as faster internet becomes more common, streaming things are just going to become commonplace.
Yeah.
I mean, most movies nowadays come with a digital code that you can just link. Oh, yeah. Like an Ultraviolet or an iTunes. It's not seamless yet, but I think with faster internet speeds and 4K streaming, that's why I don't see that as a deciding factor for the PS4 Pro not having an HD Blu-ray player. I don't care. I really don't.
I'm happy with my standard
that's that.
PS4. So.
Yeah. I damn near bought a PS4 Pro yesterday. There was a deal at Best Buy where you get... Well, there was a deal at Best Buy. They had a 55-inch Sony 4K HDR TV with a free PS4 Pro.
Free?
For $1,000.
For $1,000?
Yep.
Do it.
No, you know why? Because I don't want a 55-inch TV. I already have a 55. I want something bigger.
Better. Oh, just kidding.
I already have two 55-inch TVs. I don't want another 55-inch.
Oh,
Send it up to Canada.
That's massive. You don't need bigger than that.
I want bigger than that.
Has anybody got one bigger
I want
than
at
that?
least
Send it to Eric.
65. Yeah. But I am a believer in HDR now, because I went over to a friend's house who has a 75-inch Sony HDR 4K and was playing Battlefield on it.
5 inches?
How rich is this friend?
Well, we get massive discounts on stuff through work, so...
Jesus Christ.
Is he single?
No.
Oh.
But HDR, I'm a full believer in it. It made the game look wildly better on the PS4 Pro. It's insane. It's definitely... If you have a 4K TV, 4K HDR TV, I definitely think it's worth the jump.
Yeah, I think you have to see that in person to appreciate it. I've heard this.
It's unbelievable. When you turn it off, everything just looks kind of flat and washed out. When you turn the full HDR on, everything is vibrant and there's more depth to it, and the blacks are just solid. But you have to have the right HDR TV, because some of them are better than others.
Yeah.
Like the LG OLED screen, the blacks are pure black because those pixels just turn off.
Oh! That's really cool.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm dying.
So that's that. Guys, any other final thoughts before we wrap up for the week besides you're a moron, Dan?
How insulting.
Eric?
Well, I was just waiting for you to say it about me.
I've said you're an idiot a few times already, so you've had your fill for this week.
Oh, got it. If you want to send us a question, factories@manatech.com, or just drop it to us on our Facebook page. Dan?
Yes.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Good. Where can I find you on Twitter? Okay, Tom.
Tom's just in the middle of making his bed and he's like, oh, not this again.
Fuck. I know they're doing it and I'm not even listening.
You can find me on the Twitter at Frosted Sloth. Or Sleuth, if you prefer.
Jess? Ooh, you're a sleuth?
Sleuth.
That's EU, though.
Yeah, that's not the same.
Not part of the EU anymore.
Oh, shit, son! Vote Brexit! That was a good one, Jess. I really like that one.
What you said.
Oh, man. High five, Jess. Digital high five.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to put my hand up on Zencaster. High five. Oh, yeah. Jess, where can we find you?
I'm a Jess.
You can find me at Honest Pizza. However, I prefer to actually interact with people on our Facebook page. I find we get more genuine interaction there.
Not the page.
The page, the community.
What is that, Eric?
That is a really long string. We should probably figure out how we can get that to be normal. It's just the Factory Seal Retro Gaming Podcast community on Facebook. You can post pictures, share stories, ask questions, interact with us, answer polls, be stupid, and just enjoy the community.
It's a lot of you are doing already, which is lovely.
Yeah. And add what, Jess?
You to Snapchat.
Don't add me on Snapchat because
Add him to Snapchat.
I don't want dick pics.
Dick pics?
I got one from a girl.
Get them from Jess.
So
Get them
I
from
can
Jess
just
enough. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever.
So are we finishing Soul Blazor for next week?
Correcto, Mungo.
Okay. We'll give it a crack. Probably talk some more Pokemon.
Correcto, Mungo.
Mungo. There's a G in there. Correct a Mungo?
Not Mundo.
I don't know. Apparently I've been saying oyster wrong my entire life.
Like oyster?
Yeah.
You call it oyster?
Yep.
Like moisture without the M?
Yep.
You're special, Jess. And on that note, That's going to do it for this week. We will see you all next week.
Bye.